voice in the gaming world. Let's see some Sly Cooper glitches and save the animals. It's not a 100% run if you leave things behind. And for those that missed it earlier, that is a freeware game. Anyone can download and give it a try. Fun little game I've played myself. If anyone was wondering what they were talking about when they said TAS during the run, that stands for Tool Assisted Speed Run. And you'll see that in action in very exciting fashion later on during the marathon, during our TAS block. This is Awesome Games Done Quick, raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Founded in 1985, the PCF is one of the nation's leading voluntary health organizations and the only U.S. nonprofit focused entirely on cancer prevention and early detection. They've catapulted cancer prevention to prominence and fulfill their mission through education, research, advocacy, and outreach across the country. You can visit their website at preventcancer.org. Get a $10 donation from Mary Catherine August Collins. They say, I've watched every GDQ since 2012. I can't believe how successful these little marathons have become. Here's to many more years, and let's save even more frames and kill those animals. If anyone's new to the stream and wondering why all these people are talking about saving and killing animals, that's one of our donation incentives during the Super Metroid run. Another one of our sponsors here at Games Done Quick is Tiny Build. They're an indie label started back in 2011. First game they ever put out was called No Time to Explain. They've been working with indie teams across the world. Current project is Hello Neighbor, just a stealth horror game with advanced AI. They're also responsible for the competitive platformer known as Speedrunners. That's a really fun game. I do suggest checking it out. Coming up, we've got Hydra Castle Labyrinth. This is another freeware game that you can download on your PC and play yourself. Really fun little platformer with a lot of exploration. During our Valdis story run coming up a little bit later in the marathon, we also have a donation incentive to save Mr. Pancakes. Not only does Mr. Pancakes wear a top hat, but they're also a magical talking dog. So we need to make sure we hit that incentive. We really need to save Mr. Pancakes. Games Done Quick is also sponsored by Tokyo Attack. They specialize in bringing rare import Japanese games to conventions and events all across the United States. They feature titles such as U-Beat, Super Table Flip, Taiko no Tatsujin, and many, many more games. They host America's largest collection of independently owned import arcade cabinets. Alrighty, we are ready for Hydra Castle Labyrinth. run by 404. Good to go.
Am I good? Okay, so this is VB. I'm 404. This is Hydra Castle Labyrinth, and let's do this. Can I get a countdown? 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. Cool. Ooh, good RNG right off the bat. I'll explain that later. Basically, the structure of this game is there's 8 dungeons. Each has a boss at the end, and the last boss is the Hydra. And you have to kill the Hydra because reasons. And in between the dungeons is this overworld that I'm in that is sort of a labyrinthine castle. I see what they did there. Gonna grab the first item here. It lets me break blocks in 3 hits. And those blocks up in the corner are the sort of blocks I can break. Sometimes items are hidden behind them. Sometimes they can just block your path, but it is required to beat the game. And right now I have 5 sub-weapon ammo. Each enemy has a chance of dropping a pickup that's worth 5 sub-weapon ammo. I need 3 of those drops, so 15 ammo before I get to a certain point in the run. So there's the second drop. Oh.
Here he's going to get the boomerang, which is the first sub-weapon. It's just it's a boomerang. You throw it and it comes back.
It's basically the cross from Castlevania, but it also follows your your vertical position. Gonna grab another item in this room. You'll notice that my ladder speed is sort of abysmal. These are the super gauntlets or something. They make you climb ladders faster.
That ghost movement on that room with the ladder is random, and if you're unlucky, he'll knock you off. And it's bad time. But, good RNG so far, both with that and ammo drops.
Yep. Just being careful not to get hit by poison gas, because I don't want to lose too much health here. Oh. You can barely get around that shot in time if you time it right. No big deal, though.
So this is this a sequence break? I don't know.
Sort of. You're not technically supposed to go this way, but it's not really stopping you.
Yeah.
Gonna jump over some poison gas. The hitbox isn't active until the sprite is full-sized. And now I'm on my way to the second and most broken sub-weapon in the game.
So water speed is very slow. So that's
I'm gonna see if I can recover from this. I may just need to reset. That is unfortunate. Oh, yeah, I need to reset. That is. So while I get back there, can you read off some donations if you have them?
Sure thing. We've got a $111 donation that is anonymous. Says, AGDQ. Not many words needed. Looking forward to lots of fun speedruns. With love, from Germany. I'd also like to plug another one of our sponsors, World 9 Gaming. They provide premier computer, console, and arcade gaming stuff for events all across the Midwest. They've got a pretty dedicated staff with a lot of tournament expertise and a really big collection of over 2,000 different games and 100 different consoles. You can check out their website at world9gaming.com. Another one of our sponsors is MagFest. That is Music and Games Fest. Their first major West Coast event is coming to Santa Clara this August. And their flagship event pulls in over 20,000 people for 4 days of nonstop gaming and music. It's a lot of fun. Have some friends there myself.
All right, getting back to where we left off, almost.
The early game of this is really brutal, so it isn't really too surprising that something like that happened.
Yeah. Falling in water or falling in lava just will end a run, so it's hard to avoid that sometimes.
I'd also like to remind people that we have an incentive to save Mr. Pancakes for Valda's story coming up very soon. We need another $676 in order to get there. And he's a magical talking dog with a top hat.
Interesting here, if you mash full speed out of that, you'll actually get hit by the laser again. So you need to sort of take it slow.
We've got a $7.50 donation from Cosmic the Dolphin. It says, good luck, 404. Sorry I can't donate more, but I know you'll knock this run out of the park. Don't forget the safety save before that crazy water level. Nobody wants to have to potentially move slow through water twice.
I died on the 4th boss during a practice run, and that guy said he'd donate reminding me to take a safety save. And he did. So now actually in the room where I get the next sub-weapon.
So yeah, so bombs, here we start zipping. So the way zipping works is he's going to drop a bomb in a precise location and get on a ladder, and he zips off like that.
Oh. I have to also be on the right spot vertically on the ladder.
Mhm.
That was good.
So the way, this room is kind of precise, the strat for it.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. A fortunate thing, oh, you have your safety save, right? Or you
Yeah.
load that?
I'm just going to load the safety save. This is right after that, and in that room I get double jump.
Mhm.
One interesting thing about double jump is, yeah, you get back your air jump whenever you change screens. This is actually in the Japanese version, but not in the English patch, so that's why I'm on the Japanese version. Otherwise, I'd run English so that people can actually read what's on screen. So now there's just a few more items to pick up before getting to the first dungeon.
And one of the abilities he picked up lets him go through the poison clouds without getting poisoned.
Ah, yeah.
So that's what's going on there. Kind of a tricky jump here. Not nice.
Yeah, you have to sort of go around a corner. This is the best room to get pickups in the entire game. And it gave me, what, 1? That's about typical.
Marathon luck.
That's the green scroll. It allows me to have more sub-weapons on screen. That zip is right back to the start of the game. And now I can grab a couple more items and do the first dungeon. So, key to the first dungeon, very important. Wow.
Yeah, the early game of this run, like before the first dungeon, is extremely brutal, and it's not like what happened is like not out of the ordinary at all, even for a good runner like 404. So something to keep in mind.
Hitting myself on slimes way more than often, though. Like, more often than usual. Anyway, first dungeon, the Dodo's Den. We are going to, I guess, kill a dodo that did nothing wrong. Oh well. It has the key to the next dungeon. Oh. Tried to zip with a boomerang there.
Yeah, zipping breaks the dungeons a lot. You skip most of the dungeons.
This is, in this dungeon, it's more just a few room skips by zipping, but, yeah.
I mean, like, generally, the dungeons are all... Okay.
So, first boss, the dodo, is not very hard. Of note, I'm staggering my bombs. I could throw them faster, but I don't want their iframes to overlap, because that would reduce the amount of damage I'm dealing per sub-weapon. And weapon efficiency is really important in this game. You don't generally get enough drops to finish a run.
One of the scrolls he picked up earlier was it let him have 2 sub-weapons on screen at once. So that's how he was able to have 2 bombs.
Gonna try to get a drop from these, because... Yeah, I need an ammo drop before the next room, so... Okay, good. By the way, I also have the arrow now, which lets me... it's basically the knife from Castlevania. Goes straight forward. And this item is very important. It doubles the chance of getting any sort of drop.
That's a good zip.
Yep. Let's see if these slimes are nice.
Not too bad.
And getting the axe. This is more used for utility than attacking, or to clear out enemies just right above me.
Here's a good strat. So that's the charge attack. It lets you get a little extra distance and skip the platform cycles in that room. It'll also be used later to go through water a little faster.
Yeah, it's not really used for attacking,
It's too
except
slow.
sometimes on Bat, which, by the way, we are now in the Bat's Cave. Not the Bat Cave. We're not fighting Batman. Would be cool, though. Okay, good. And you'll see how much zipping actually breaks this game, because I'm almost at the boss now.
And the strat for the boss is somewhat tricky. You have to switch between sub-weapons really quickly to get a fast kill.
Jump over these fireballs. Okay. Or not. Okay. Looks like I'll get to see the charge attack used to attack after all. Oh. The sword does very little damage.
We saved before the dungeon, so not
Yeah.
too bad.
It's unfortunate. I'm just not getting quite enough ammo drops to get through here.
Yeah.
So I might farm up a bit more before this. Murphy's Law, I guess.
We have a $75 donation from Aero Rush. It says they've been watching this marathon since 2014, and they love every minute of it. Keep up the great runs, and let's beat cancer together.
Yeah. 5 is not enough for this boss. Okay, that's more like it.
$10 donation from Ixias that says, shoutouts from Sweden to the Graveyard Shift Runners. Excellent lunch entertainment for me. Great job.
So this is more how the boss fight's supposed to go.
There you go. That was a good fight.
Back out of ammo, though. Gonna grab this shield up here. Lets me block projectiles coming at me as long as I'm standing still.
Ooh, nice drop, sir.
Yeah, that's very much appreciated. Use the axes there to skip killing that tower.
If I remember correctly, that area you kind of skipped over earlier, that shield is what you're supposed to have to get through those lasers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice little zip to get into
Yeah,
D3.
third dungeon, which is Gulge's Ruins.
D3.
Yeah.
Shout
Sort
outs
of
to
a
D3.
ghost-themed dungeon. If you're fast enough, you can get that guy to dash the other way. Avoid aggroing these ghosts. Very nice to have the shield here. And boss.
Yeah. That dungeon gets destroyed by zipping.
Just got to be careful here not to walk into my own bomb hitboxes. And he should be dead here. Yep,
Nice, good fight.
Get the key to the next dungeon, and now is the most annoying segment of the game. Also, graphical glitch there. If you attack while exiting or entering a door, it makes lots of fun garbage sprites.
So D4 is the water dungeon, so that's almost never fun, but it's worse in this game because water is
The
just
water movement is
so slow.
completely awful, and also right now water murders me. Not instantly, it just drains my health very quickly.
So something we haven't mentioned about zipping yet is that when you're in the wall movement, you can control it, but it's extremely finicky and hard to control.
Yeah, basically you can only move to the right and downwards.
So here's going to do a tricky skip.
And I've got to be very careful here so that I don't trap myself.
Nice. That's a really hard trick.
Okay, that's good.
One of the hardest zips in the run for sure.
Yeah. So now I'm not taking water damage anymore thanks to these gills, I guess. And so you see all this like huge expanse of water. I'd have to cross this twice if I didn't do that zip. Oh.
Water is it's painfully slow.
Thankfully, that's about all the water we'll have to go through at reduced speed.
And you saw he was using the charge attack to go over the water a little quicker. Shoutouts to Crank Dude.
Yeah, that is his strat. I recently started using it, and it's so much nicer. Anyway, on to the fourth dungeon, which is Gyra's Bog. That statue at the start is the only thing blocking me from the boss. But I can't zip past it, so I need to actually get the key item in this dungeon. That's not going to be. Okay.
Yeah, all these zips have to have precise setups. Some of them you can auto-align with the ladder, but not all of them. You do have to come up with visual cues. If you look closely, these water enemies are actually super happy.
Yeah.
They have a big smile.
Every enemy in this game is happy. I'm not going to risk getting hit by those thwomps. Normally I can jump through them, but having health is really important here for reasons that you'll see later.
Oh, yeah. One of the...
Ammo, but I can't have it. And now I can move in water at close to normal speed. It's about 90% normal. And now I'm going to head and get the key item of this dungeon. Which means I have to do a zip in this room right under these thwomps. So
That should work? Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
First try is really good. I didn't do the full version, sadly, but that's good enough.
That trick is so annoying. The thwomps make that terrible.
Okay. And cleared the cleared the enemies now. And this dungeon should be good now. So we use boomerangs to clear out these guys really quickly, and that is the key item we need to destroy that statue at the start of the dungeon. I'm also looking pretty good on sub-weapon ammo right now. You can fire off a few donations.
I'll tell you about one of the sponsors here, Chrono.gg. They sell a single awesome game every single day, different game every day. They're always an incredible deal, and they partner directly with game developers so you know exactly where your keys are coming from. Proceeds from GDQ featured titles will benefit the Prevent Cancer Foundation. You can check them out at chrono.gg/AGDQ.
So back at the start of the dungeon, I'm going to take a safety save because that donator reminded me to. Back into the dungeon, and into the entirely underwater section of this dungeon. Technically speaking, you can get through this dungeon without having the item that lets you breathe underwater. The task does it, and it survives with about 1 health left. So good luck if you're trying to do that, though.
When is low percent?
Low percent is never, because you have to beat all the bosses with your sword.
Oh, that sounds hype.
Oh, so yeah, that's what can go wrong in this. The bomb hitboxes linger way longer than you'd expect. And ooh, he can just entirely ruin your day if that happens. So this boss is not actually random. He depends on my position, but because I got hit by those bombs, I didn't know what he'd do. Normally you can just get him to circle you and throw bombs, but that's fine.
Out of
Good fight
D4
anyway.
is really good. Yeah. And that was pretty solid overall. So, made it out of the worst part of the run.
Yep. Now on to the 5th dungeon. No zips or anything in between here. You probably have time for a donation.
I'll talk about one of our donation incentives coming up here for Dustin and Legion Tale, as well as we got a donation from Chainbrain, $10 donation that says, "Please save Pancake." They want to save Pancake, the magical dog that talks and wears a top hat. You should save him too.
All right, into the 5th dungeon. This is the second of the 2 ghost-themed dungeons. Labyrinth's Cavern. Also, it's dark. There's an item that lets you illuminate this. I'm not getting it because I just skipped to the portion where you'd normally need it. Skip past it, that is. Also, sub-theme of this dungeon is giant spike balls.
Can't go wrong.
And now for a tricky boss. So, the positions of those Mooksy spawns are totally random. Okay.
Good
So that was a musical cue that I used to hit him as he reappears, and that's pretty much a perfect fight there.
Yeah, that was really solid.
Good
Oh.
RNG, and didn't get hit by any of those poison mooks. They all poison you if they hit you, so quite dangerous.
I remember having a lot of trouble with that boss when I played this casually.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you want to play this game casually, it's completely free. Where can you go to get it?
I'm not sure if it's still up on the author's website. It was down the last time I checked, but you can get it on speedrun.com, certainly.
Yeah, speedrun.com, the Hydra Castle Labyrinth page, under the resources tab. We have it downloaded.
These guys are scary because they paralyze you. So I'm very careful around those yellow slimes. So now is the reason I got axes. Normally you'd need a key item here to ride those airstreams up and kill those bats, but with the axes you can just reach. Oh, that bat did not aggro for some reason. Shoutouts to Mega Man, by the way. And here is the key item we need for this dungeon. Once again, lets us get to the boss room. Anytime you see a coin, it's used to activate a switch. So, red coin activates a red switch. So throwing that boomerang is sort of a... it skips a cycle on that second wind-blowing pot. Looping around this way is actually faster just because I don't have to go through this room all the way. And by the way, this is the Devil's Lair. Meet the devil. Totally how he's normally depicted. Okay. This boss can go south very quickly if I get hit by any one of those shots, but thankfully the danger is over now. Oh, well, he paralyzed me, but I beat him.
Good D6. That was, yeah, 6.
Yeah. On to Dungeon 7 now. I'd like about 2 more ammo drops before I do that dungeon. Oh, perfect.
This game's also neat in how many different little power-ups you can get. For example, the paralyzation he just suffered at that boss. I believe there's a power-up that prevents you from getting paralyzed.
Last zip from this place, and now, if you can't guess from the area I'm in, this is going to be the lava dungeon.
It's a simple game.
Yeah. This is Garm's Grotto, and it's warm. That strat is one of the most wasteful uses of sub-weapons in the basically entire game. But you really need to kill those pigs. They just block your way. So what I did there was I very briefly killed the only enemy in that room, which spawned a chest, which has a key item in it. You can tell it worked because the music reset. Climb up this fire thing. I'm gonna get those. It's slow, but I want them. I'd have to farm for these anyway if I didn't pick them up. So this is the first of 2 key items that I need in this dungeon. I forget if it's the left or the right coin, but yeah. Line up for a zip here. Huh. Thought I had that.
Yeah, that
Okay.
Zips can be
That's
finicky.
better. Have to kill all these turrets to spawn a ladder. And that chest there is the second key item of the dungeon. And you can see there, the sprite was totally gone. Hitbox still there. Oh. And there it is. Guess that's the right coin.
We got a $5 1-cent donation from iDogger. It says, "You're doing a wonderful thing. Heart, keep up the great work."
Now I can zip to the last... This is basically the last zip in the run, actually. The last real one, anyway. Gotta be just a bit careful. Oh. Having a bit of trouble.
Nice.
But it turned out fine. I can walk on lava now. It's a cool item. I wouldn't mind a bit of health. I am still going to take a safety save. This boss isn't very hard, but I'm low enough that I can be hit by just a single boulder and get my day ruined. Anyway, here's Garm. Very exciting boss fight. It's 7 cycles of this. This is the only boss I'd feel comfortable beating just with a sword. And I think I had to in my first casual run through because I ran out of ammo. Keep in mind though, each of these bombs is doing equivalent damage to hitting him 8 times with a sword, so. Anyway, now I can head on to the final dungeon. But first I want to get up to 35 ammo. So 3 more drops will get there. Now the final dungeon is laid out, it sort of has wings. 1 more ammo drop, by the way. Each wing is filled with lots of really tough enemies, and at the end of each wing is a refight with the first boss. And each of the wings lets you break a crystal, which generates a barrier blocking your way to the final boss. Anyway, here's the door to the Hydra's throne. Oh.
Oh.
So I actually accidentally zipped there, which is not what I meant to do, and
Too
not
good.
what I should be doing.
Too good at the game, man.
By the way, all those wings, I'm going to skip those because boomerangs go through walls. Good game. And here's the final boss.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when time is coming up. Basically, I need to kill the center segment, but I can't deal any damage to it until I kill all the heads. The attack patterns are totally non-random, but the positions of these rock spawns are random, so I've just got to dodge them. Lightning, rocks again. Now I'll jump. And I'll do the same thing I did on the first pair of heads to clear them up. Rocks. Oh. And the center. And time is coming up as soon as I grab the crown. Time.
Nice.
So that's Hydra Castle Labyrinth. And thank you for having me.
If you like Metroidvania speedruns, follow this guy on Twitch. He plays this game. He's going to start running La Mulana soon, I believe,
Yeah.
is the plan.
The remake.
So yeah, if you like games like that, follow this. Give this guy a follow.
Right.
Alrighty, you're watching Awesome Games Done Quick, raising money